you haven't seen part 1 of this adventure, then please go check it out. Link will be in the description and comment section. But if you have, then welcome to part 2. Before we can continue our journey, let me catch you up real quick. In the last episode, me and my good friend Seb arrived in Vietnam. Wide-eyed and unplanned, we explored Hanoi in the search for motorbikes. Once we had bought our freshly assembled bikes, we headed out onto the road and took the long drive to Halong Bay. And that is pretty much it. I hope you enjoyed part 2, starting now. Halong Bay, we're about to go on one of the tours on the boat, and we're gonna go all the way over there. Whoa! Something I've realized about this trip is we're terribly unplanned. But I mean, we're just figuring it out at a day at a time. We had decided to join this tour on that very morning, so other than old brochure photos and broken English, we really didn't know what experience we were sailing out to. Although the looming silhouettes of jagged mountains rising up out of the sea was enough to reassure us that we had made the right decision to join.
We're on a boat!
Halong means descending dragon, and the bay is home to around 2,000 small islands. Embarking off the boat, we explored one of the impressive limestone islands by foot. Joined by a group of monks, me and Seb discovered a beautiful cave within one of the mountains. It was breathtaking. Strange rocks caught the light and made the environment almost dreamlike. Back on the boat, we continued our tour. The landscapes we sailed towards were something out of a fairy tale. The art of nature on full display. I was stunned by what I saw. Silhouettes of islands danced in the background as mountainous rock and earth rose up to meet us at either side. It was like nothing I'd ever experienced. We're going canoeing.
We're the only ones going canoeing.
Yeah, we're the only ones going canoeing. We absolutely were the only ones going canoeing, and that is because it was currently winter in Vietnam. The water was freezing, and it was a rather chilly day, but we were used to English winters, so this was nothing. It was amazing to splash by the impressive islands. Not the typical canoe ride, I would say. We just did the kayaks, and it was really good fun.
Can you do that?
Yeah. Heading back to land, we didn't stay for long. Making some new friends at the hostel, we raced out into the heart of the city, on the hunt for some local hidden gems. We soon found ourselves in the middle of a chaotic market. I didn't film it, but let's just say every meat you could imagine was for sale here. We explored around the bustling stalls until we discovered something rather shocking. An ice skating rink. Of course, we had to take full advantage of our recent discovery.
What a move!
tour, I think. Or, I don't know. Update situation, we're in Halong, we're going down to Ninh Binh. We just booked our hostel, it looks really nice, I can't wait to show you guys. We've got about a 4-hour ride ahead of us. As we rode further and further south, the weather began to get colder and colder. Soon it was time for a tactical clothing change. We found a nice quiet place to change. The bike ride, although cold, was awesome. We stopped by the side of the road and took a moment to soak in the incredible landscape. This right here was the highlight of the day's ride, and it was about to go downhill fast.
Go, go, go! Quick, 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 quick! Ah!
I don't know what city this was, but it seemed to be rush hour. And oh boy, was it pure madness. Motorbikes and cars flooded the street, and we were constantly being cut off. It was like a game of bumper cars, except we really did not want to bump any cars.
Straight now, straight. Okay, left, left.
You had to keep your head on a swivel, looking everywhere at all times.
I don't know where to go.
It was not just the busy streets that was making this ride so difficult. It seemed our navigation was also feeling rather overwhelmed, as it led us down the wrong roads.
Josh, left, left. Dude, the sat-nav doesn't even tell you where to go. I'm just guessing.
Eventually, it seemed we were out of the craziness and back on track. But no, just before we could leave town, my bike suffered its first major breakdown. Although luckily for me, it was just a quick run until we found a mechanic. It didn't take long for him to fix it, and soon we were riding again.
Thank you so much,
On the outskirts of the city, we stopped off at a magnificent-looking temple. The Vietnamese once used anti-aircraft artillery here during the Vietnam War. It was badly destroyed in the war, and it wasn't until 2001 when it was finally restored. I can't believe such a beautiful place can be home to such bloody history. Before continuing our ride, we stopped at a nearby stall for a piping hot bowl of delicious pho. My bike also broke down again, but fixing the problem didn't take long, and we were on the road in no time. I take back what I had said earlier. This was the highlight of the day's ride, and the trip so far. When I sat in my college classroom daydreaming, this is what I had imagined. Roaring through Vietnam's spectacular countryside, rocky mountains and beautiful nature was all that lay in front of me. People say adventures like this change your life forever, and this day certainly changed mine. But that is not to say it was all perfect. What was meant to be 4 hours had turned to a whole day, and certain areas of mine were really starting to feel that. A day full of highs and lows. Both our bikes and our bodies have been tested on the long ride. But what a way to end it. I was excited to explore more of this scenic area, but that would have to wait until tomorrow. This is our hostel we just got here, and it's beautiful.